We in the game. Well, we finally got some sun out. We got them UV rays out now. Outside, absorbing them joints with the melanin molecule, and neuromelanin, all that good stuff. Gotta get some electrolytes, sugars. Fruits. So yeah, we jumping into it, man. With the African diaspora. Hope we can hope my image is not jumpy or nothing like that. Cause I gotta jump right into it. You know, they be switching up the live, and they kind of like, you know, give me bad signals and shit. They be listening to see what I'm saying. So anyway, now look at all of this type stuff we got going on here, man, with the African diaspora. We getting offered to just come over to Africa, man. Ain't that something? You know, it's a lot of things. The narrative has been gaslighted back on us again. We gotta acknowledge this cluster B personality. This is psychology, yo. And niggas pick up on it. In America, they pick up on it. They just don't know what to call it. Guess what? They got it in this ICD-9, ICD-10. Basically, just describes the symptoms of the cluster B personality disorder, dealing with narcissism, psychopath, histrionic, you know, and borderline personality, right? You know, it's cool to know about the body, but we gotta get into that mind. This is how they really got us and shit, because that kind of disrupts us from the spirit, or from our flesh, you know what I'm saying? And the spirit, and getting out of tune with the Most High, which is, you know, the Father, and Mama too. We weren't able to use our wisdom under, you know, spells and things of that nature. So anyhow, this is telling us to, you know, go ahead and see if we can go over to America. Go over to Africa. We see that the President Ibrahim, who's kind of have this theme of being the father of many nations like Abraham, we just look at it like, yo, this type of marketing right now, without a red carpet proper introduction, you know, or welcoming, you know, with exclusive areas to chill at, to stay, you know what I mean, and have us, you know, being able to be cool and accommodated. And I'm not talking about celebrities. I'm talking about just the ones that they can feel that got this natural sense. You know, like niggas that got natural sense, not just putting up celebrities because they got the money. Because a lot of bribing has been going on both sides. This is why niggas on both sides ain't been able to raise up to the higher frequency to kind of work together. We haven't really seen the United States of Africa, but we know what the United States of America looks like. Niggas was already in tune with the Algonquin basically union that happened already before the United States was made. And so we already have a blueprint to unite already. So the Africans do know this. So they need certain individuals to help them with their, you know, development, with our connection to the Creator, our ability to be able to tap into our talents, into our gifts that we have, that is like, you know, unseen, and it's like amazing for everyone else to see. You know, the spell is starting to come down a little bit, and seeing that, okay, niggas have been able to, you know, be able to survive more so during the science of their being captive on their own soil. And they're starting to find out, like, damn, niggas was already in America before, you know, all the little slave trade things went down. There was already beings that was already there, have vast cities and vast, you know, burial rites, mounds, you know. And it's been documented on stone temples over in Egypt of the West, where the land of their ancestors that came from, which was Amaru, Tamari, or Tamari. And so right now, as far as us being able to unite, we have to be able to crush a certain psychological disorder that we have. Is basically based in the cluster B personality. If you want to look it up, it's easy to just Google or whatever right now, and seeing how we've been exposed to, you know, self-incest. You know, if you've been exposed to a Caucasian in a way, you've been kind of, you know, I'm talking about in any kind of way, a colonizer. You know, they was able to run rampant. The Bible's already told you that. You know, the scripts already said it, that they're going to have their way with Most High's people. And their peace is not going to be touched. They're going to be cool. And that's what happened. Ain't nothing bother nobody. Nobody try to take nothing. But now the time is coming to an end. And so with the whole the African diaspora, is to come back to, or we can't say come back. If we came back, that means we went there before and then we left from before. We never started from there. And so when we get to a point where, okay, to come to Africa now, it's like you see the celebrities jump in and then they say, I'm talking about like our black celebrities that's always been selling us out, doing all these rituals, like dude who got the movie studios, all these people, Oprah. They don't represent a lot. They don't represent all the niggas in America, but they're trying to jump in there and slide in there by doing that, because they never even tried to support niggas in America. Not even trying. We could say foundational black Americans. But I'm gonna say niggas, man, because it's hood TV. Supernatural too. And so, you know, they never tried to build schools in America. Never tried to teach the right truth in America. Never tried to teach the right truth in their own town that they grew up in, their own land. Never tried to even buy even any acre of land in America to even farm on it, their own self. But when I go abroad to Africa and want to buy 300 acres of land and shit. And that's what the celebrity, the artist, I forgot her name, but she was kind of like the poster face for borderline personality disordered women, you know what I'm saying, unstable women or whatnot. So buying 300 acres in Africa, it's like, you know, that's building up farmland, which will help Africa out, or, you know, Kenya. However, it's like, to not do that in America, ain't no celebrity come and say, yo, man, we're gonna make a chain of, we haven't cleaned the inside of the cup. That's what Jesus said. Clean the inside of the cup first, and then we go outside. You know, no celebrity came together and built a chain of grocery stores for us to work in. Like, yo, we're gonna work, I'm gonna work in so-and-so, so we can get chips, Boosie chips or some shit like that. We can get rappers chips with certain ingredients in it, you know? But we can't get a grocery store to sell the same chips in the motherfucker. We don't even got land, 1,600 acres of land to even farm any foods. We only got private farmers. So without helping out in the mainland, there's got to be something behind the whole little situation, because when they start promoting these things, they're trying to counter, you know, the rise of the Amaru, which is the nigga, the American nigga, man. Because they see, ain't nobody like the nigga, we got an extra bop. And we ain't mad, we want everybody to have fun. Ain't that right? We're not going out murdering motherfuckers. We want to give everybody a chance, you know, but with our cluster B personality, because we can claim ours. It seems like everybody else can't claim theirs and shit. So with our cluster B personality, you know, we tend to take out the self-sabotaging on our own self, like an individual would if they had their own borderline personality disorder. They'll sabotage themselves, maybe a cutter, maybe a reckless sexual woman or a male or whatnot to get validation. Same as like with the nation. So we see now, to get the validation, we want to become famous. We do anything you need to do to get this fame and to get this illusionary pay. And even if you didn't do that, they find a way to get money from you either out, because they know that you ain't supposed to have the money nor the land to produce anything. At a certain moment in time, but you know, now it's starting to line up in a different way. And so when they see that you're at this point, like a narcissistic person would do in any relationship, they see that they're gonna lose their main primary source, their main bitch. We gotta keep it hood. They wanna lose, they're finna lose their main bitch, dog, which is niggas. And they're like, damn, what can we do to get them to defer from getting their own shit back? Let's tell them to go back to Africa. Let's tell them to go over there. Now look, we don't know too much, you know, as far as like us interacting. The Africans been through things too. Different states, different countries or whatnot, they've been through things. You just gotta pick your country, they say, right? However, a lot of bribing is still going down. You know, niggas don't really bribe Africans when they come to America. We don't try to take nothing from them. You know, I'm not mad at the Africans. They on some nigga shit too. You know, they want to come over to America and marry some of our women just so they can stay in the motherfucking and shit. I mean, niggas may be doing that in Africa too. I don't know too much. I don't think there's no amusement parks in Africa and shit. You know what I mean? The nigga in America made the first roller coaster, so you know we like to have fun and shit, man. You know, so we making roller coasters and shit. But them, and you know, our colonizers know that we're very fun if you just leave us the hell alone and shit, so we get back to creating. They know that we're connected to the creator, so they try so much to divide and conquer us. Our culture is that strong, it's divine, G. You know, this is why we give our culture to the world. No matter what we do, it can be something as simple that can inspire another group or race of entities to do something to add on to that. And we'll sit back and be like, damn, that's cold. We'll acknowledge it. They'll acknowledge it, but after a while, it'll be devalued. But we'll acknowledge it like, yo, that's tight. I like that. And we'll just continue on evolving. However, right now, this is why a lot of deportations going to place, because people don't appreciate the nigga. Everybody's going to be separated from the nigga to show you, see how powerful the nigga is on his own. And ain't no man, no mortals doing this. This is the Most High's hand, yo. It show you that niggas is naturally born with gifts and talents that can power the whole world. And it's not to be like, man, we're not using the big I and little u. We're not racist at all. Well, racist, the IST is the suffix. So that's somebody who studies race, unless it's running or just, I guess they say, color or something. You know, they just got us to think a certain way, man. So we'll still let you ride if you're fucked up. You see, we've been letting white folks ride for so long. They've been fucked up. See how much shit they did. It was said they was gonna do all this shit on the walls of Angkor Wat. Niggas went over there too. You see big ass mountains looking just like my ass and shit, smiling like, you know, women and shit with hair like that, G. Just woolly, growing out, man, coming together, intertwining like a DNA strand and shit. And it's not to be like, yo, we're big eye little you. It's to show that our ancestors already been around the world, G. We already mapped the stars. You guys are new, okay? So we're striving to help you. It's going to show you how new you are, that our DNA comes back in line. When they say DNA or DEA, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be NIGGAZ. Peace, Twan. What's happening? What's happening? You know, just sitting back. Finally got some sun after since April. So I got to get some UVs on me real fast and shit and eat. I'm just dropping the science down on this African diaspora. I like Africa. Ain't nobody like Africa more than niggas. Niggas like Africa more than Africa, nigga. We walking around here with African pendants trying to look like African. Where you from, nigga, in Africa? Nigga, we don't know, nigga, but I love that place. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we love it because it's in our DNA that we went over there and brought the corn over there. Shout out to We Know the Truth now. We brought the corn over there and along with the horn of plenty to show different types of fruits that we planted. And the Most High and our ancestors were so cold that they had the fruit. They've had it in picture form. With like, nigga, you see this lemon? You see this motherfucking pomegranate? All right, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know where that chick come from? You see these grapes? You see these gapes, son? That's ancestors, man. That's some nigga shit right there, all together, right there. That's nigga shit, and that's cool, man. So I definitely didn't eat the corn, used as fuel. Yeah, you know, we did all kind of things with the corn. You know, the corn was different. We had different kinds of corn. You know, I learned that just by being in Minnesota, that there was big thick ass corn that you can eat, and there was corn that you just feed to like the horses and shit like that. You know. And you can oil it out and use the oil for certain things, for mechanics and things of that nature. But yeah. However, though, that corn is very sacred, though. You know? He said corn. I used to love corn, man. Tender than a mother's love, they say, where I come from. You know. But you know, the fact of the matter is that the corn is just a symbol of agriculture, of showing you like, yo, nigga, this can be used for certain things all around the world, and it just gives you the science of when to plant food and when to harvest. Like this is one of the main, you know, food sources that the NAGAs had, you know, and made everything up out of it. But they would give you information today or information today to kind of turn us away from the corn. And, you know, we already been having, you know, cotton already. We was picking cotton already, see? Now we're gonna be picking them. We had the gold on the hands and everything. Now we know we got the copper and shit. Gonna be pictures of us doing it ourselves. Get back in tune. You know, getting back into with our garments again. We ain't gonna be using the polyesters and shit no more. That shit'll break you out, especially if you ain't fucking around with it for a while. You put some polyester on. You buy $100 shirt and you be like, this shit said polyester. Man, you just got cheated like a motherfucker. $100 jersey and shit. You know what I mean? $150 jersey. You got some polyester in that bitch. It ain't linen or nothing like that. Holding your electromagnetic field that you emanate from your body. It's not holding it. It's just actually holding it down. You're like, damn, G. So in that case, we'd be out and don't have nothing on, sit on the lava rock and shit with the crystals now. I'm just joking. But yeah, you know, with our brothers, man, the diaspora, you know what I'm saying? You know, we all love them, man. I mean, I got love for you, Twan. I ain't tripping. I know how it is and shit, you know. I used to eat corn with butter and shit when it was just fat and juicy, man. It takes like this thick and you biting that bitch like, you know, you make cornbread. My granddad used to make cornbread out of corn, man. Cast iron skillet, man, for sure. You know, with the butter in the middle of the cornbread. Like, how'd you have the butter still in the middle of the cornbread? Damn, granddaddy, you something else. Hot water cornbread, my dad used to make that. You know, things that just give you the symbol and signs and symbols for the conscious mind who was responsible for this corn and shit. It's like that just for the future. So which is now, so we can be like, oh, niggas been using the corn all along and shit. It was us. And then we evolved, you know, continued on. And as times grew, you know, we evolved with our building techniques. You know, we learned looking at the ants and shit like that too, being able to see spiritual things. That's why our ancestors, that's why we deal with our ancestors. You know, we know that there was an all spirit, but our ancestors were still around after they transitioned. This is why we have to look at the science of corporeal reality and S reality, which is spirit reality. Corporeal is the flesh, all the way down to the microcosm, to the macrocosm, for an infinite way, you know, never ending. It's mathematical. Mathematical is divine. 2 + 2 is going to be 4 all the time. They're never going to change. So, and that just shows and proves what truth is. And truth is the equality to the equation of all things that exist. And you are the answer, which is Y equals self. Yes. You are the equality to everything. So just make knowledge born and save yourself. This is what I'm doing, making knowledge. I have to look over here to make sure one's ain't on the way. I got the angels up here. And they're like, the angels? But you know, it's hard to see right now. Don't worry. But this is what we're gonna get back trained into. Because when you're dealing with this, going to another part of the world, your ancestors have either been over there, be over there now to market to get you over there, or they're marketing to get certain ones of us over there, like the Jamaicans. It's cool. Jamaicans they do get along with the Ghanaians and everybody in the Bouquet Faso or whatnot. You know, they get along with them a little bit more part. Because they've been over where we was at. We'd be like, nigga, what the fuck is you doing? You know what I'm saying? How come you ain't never got all the goddamn ingredients, nigga? We let you come over here and set up shop. You got all the good smelling food, nigga, but you never got all the ingredients. Oh, you was always high and mighty any goddamn way. Nigga, out here shit. You always high and mighty over niggas anyway. Yeah, I'm just playing. I love my Jamaican bros and shit. But now they know. It's like, nigga, damn, we ain't had to be that way towards us. Because, you know, they was the only ones that wanted to go to Europe. Niggas ain't really want to go to Europe like that. Niggas don't even want to leave America. Why? Because it's our shit. America's fun. We got 4 seasons and everything, G. It's deep. But however, though, man, you know, just to jump back into the diaspora, you know, like we want our African brothers to come over to where we're at, you know what I'm saying? And be honest with us. Nobody has that. Everybody had a chance to be honest with us. Everybody, G. You know what I'm saying? They murdered our leaders. You know, our celebrities are getting mistaken for leaders of us, like they're speaking for us. Them motherfuckers don't speak for us. They don't speak for me at all. They don't speak for none of my niggas. Fuck a Sam celebrity, nigga. You gotta be a real deal celebrity. Pac was real. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we have to vote in our own people again and come together. And semen retention and celibacy is going to do that shit for niggas. Because we done it before. Everything I'm talking about, we done it before. They ain't done it. That's why they need niggas to come and show them how to do it. And we don't want to increase hate. We love, like I said, we love Africa. We was riding around in the 80s and shit with the African pendants on, man. Gold or whatever, leather or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we respected them. We wanted to go over there. It was just cost so goddamn much. We couldn't go over there. It cost, oh man, that's so much dough. Some of us went, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of us didn't. And the ones that they went straight to Egypt, you know, instead of going into the actual shit like the National Geographic, like, you know, we over here with the wasabi. I was sad to say it like that. But the thing of it is, though, the wasabi tribe. What does that mean? Hot ass tribe, nigga. These motherfuckers dark as hell. But they ain't nobody, you know, we ain't do all that. So now we got a chance to do it. But however, we got to make sure that there's no cluster B personality disorder that's in play for us to be able to not hate each other, to idolize each other and devalue. We haven't even devalued the African yet. Right now, we're at a point where we're like, okay, nigga, y'all need to speak up. Because if y'all talking now, they're talking now. And I like the president, what they showing, what he's doing. But everybody's kind of showing a lot of shit that's going on right now. Like, you know, he's getting supported by a lot of Muslims. I support the fact that he stood up. He's got a small country with a few amount of resources. You know, we already know in America we got all the resources. They try to trick us and make us think we got to go somewhere elsewhere. We got everything, including the nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is why Trump is like using the hand. Like, nigga, we got the Joker, nigga, big Joker. This is the nigga. What do y'all got? Oh, we're gonna tell him to come over. They playing their hand out. Come over to Africa, the homeland. That's confirmation. The homeland, nigga. Come over. It's like Trump, like, nigga, these niggas is finna get the motherfucking promised land back, dog. You know what I'm saying? So it's like at a time you gotta let the ancestors do what it do. The ancestors is they're burning fucking plantations and shit like that, and it's a fight in heaven with their people because they died and got up into the first resurrection, which is still on the earth playing in this heavens, and they're battling our ancestors that's already there. But we got a lot of number of niggas that's already on point. You know what I'm saying? That's up and moving around and getting everything situated for the mortals, which is the babies in light, which is we in corporeal bodies, physical bodies. They're getting everything in play and making these houses right in the S form and in the spirit. And in the flesh. So everything can come right down into one now. That's why the war is taking place in America, over in the heavens, for sure. You know what I'm saying? And this is why they're striving to get niggas up out of America. The Trump card, the true card, that the niggas like the niggas. And because they know that when they get certain niggas out, niggas ain't got that many ancestors that's living on that soil. Though niggas have access to the whole entire world because they do have structures that niggas been at, you know, it's the fact that they know that the niggas who ain't elite, they ain't got that much protection spiritually over that point. You know what I mean? And if they're elite, yeah, they got protection. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they told them to come over there. If you feel that, you know, go and build with your bros and shit. You know what I'm saying? What they can do is offer a safe haven so nobody can fuck with you. But, you know, they still get to come to the point of bribings. We need to get treated like the United Nations motherfuckers too. Red carpet. When we hop off the plane, we just ain't hopping off the plane individually, going to see what country we're gonna be a part of. Like, no, nigga, we look, check the fucking Africana book, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You can't take credit for all of this shit that we done over in America, even if we did get taken from Africa, nigga. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. If you're a real nigga, so you can't get mad at this. If you're a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, nigga, we created a lot of shit. Music, you know, our fucking snares, our HBCUs, even though we was using them under disguise, the boule and all of this shit, it gets deep. But I'm just saying, if we did get taken from Africa and y'all babies like that, y'all should be really trying to snatch our ass up in a divine way and have some land already made out for us, like our ancestors is doing in the mainland right now, in the heavens, and kicking motherfuckers out. We doing shit on the unseen. What the hell do you have to offer? This is what we're spiritual people. We're a little bit up higher, and it's not to say that we're big I, little you, but it is a ranking to this. It's always gonna be ranking. There's a fucking lieutenant, there's sergeants and shit. Then there's the chief, there's the general, there's the chief. We already had this. We already had our whole nations united. This took place before, a while ago, when we had a false god that tried to come over and establish a stronghold in America, getting us to make blood sacrifices. We stopped that shit. Iowata came in and united us under the Great Spirit. And this is documented. And this is where the United States come from. We never seen the United States of Africa because niggas is like bribing each other all the time. Motherfuckers is being petty with that cluster B personality. We can call it, but we know our own shit too. You know what I'm saying? We never will try to, every time we come over and want to come over to the soil, we're going to touch the soil. We want to, man, praise it. We want to kiss it, man. That's what we think in our mind. However, it's like when ones come over to where we at, everybody want to walk past us and act like we don't even exist. Like we lazy, like we didn't do shit. Like we ain't the descendants of mound builders, beautiful architectural structures built into the ground that they just trying to destroy daily. Like we didn't invent air conditioning for motherfucking Caucasians to even exist on the inside, to even be in our area. Like nigga, we had to make air conditioners and shit. You know, it's deep. And so now everybody's catching up to what we was doing in America and want more help. Like, you know, I see skyscrapers in Africa. I don't see Tatari skyscrapers, but I see, you know, modern day skyscrapers. So, you know, whatever happened, you got money from the big, whatever, from the, you know, invaders and shit, you know what I'm saying, the colonizers. That's cool. However, we was already established for thousands upon thousands of years, you know what I mean? Well, y'all had to go through certain stages of development in being able to, you know, access the higher upper echelon of your ancestors. Over there, I hear about every spirit in Africa, but you know what I'm saying, the all spirit. And I'm not capping on you, man. I just don't hear nothing about the all spirit over that motherfucker. When I hear that, it's like dealing with Romans and shit. You know, Roman Catholic niggas or the Ethiopians. you know, talking about certain things. They know niggas, they know Ethiopians are like, you know, they're Iowans, they're faithists, they're chosen people of the Most High. So they're gonna be impressionable if you kind of attack them and put them under this thing of spiritual like bondage. Yeah, they're gonna believe certain things because their belief is so high and their kundalini is so high that they can believe in all kind of false gods. But as time go on, when they transition and get into the heavens, they battle those false gods, and everyone, those false gods who had their backing, the false gods who had, you know, beings, their homies around them backing them homies turn their back on the false gods too. And so these spirits all go around these false gods and form knots. And it takes a very skilled Ethereum to come in to unravel all the knots of these spirits who's been deceived and smothering and suffocating this spirit. You know, because you can't die when you get in the spirit realm and shit. You've been suffocating this spirit, misled them down the wrong way spiritually. This is what goes down on all the worlds. This is how we elevate. So now we're in the time we're showing it now. This is what's happening. So over there in that world, we got to know if it's safe, if it's that right, if it's right and exact move. Yeah, we're gonna build our own schools, see. We're gonna build our own. We have it with our own new. Yeah, we're gonna build our own schools, see. We're gonna build our own. We have it with our own new information. You know, dealing with the spirituality and how to get to the crown chakra with the Christ consciousness. That's who we are. We're naturally Christ consciousness, y'all. That's what we do. And that's why we always can tune in with each other. We're always like, yo, you know who we are. You know, right here ringing very loud. You know, so let me make sure I check my back. So that's what we truly is. And that only way to get to that point, you got to be celibate. At least 2 years if you already been banging and shit. You know what I mean? But if you're young, we're going to start them off young. And they're going to continue this on all the way up for forever. You know, this is the way, the truth and the light, man. We have to be celibate again. It's the only way we're going to defeat the power of this world. People, soulful people at that. Not just only spiritual, but they spiritual because they still be utilizing these spiritual. Some of their ancestors are swift enough to cross the water, and they can get over. But they can't. Them spirits can't cross the water without help. Without help from a higher spirit that can show them how to get across that water. Now we got planes and shit like that, and it's getting them across. People can do spell work to get you to certain areas. You know, it's very, very intricate, man. It's a spirit war, G. And I'm putting you on it. They're on certain resurrections. This is why it's important to get to the third resurrection, because that's where you're chilling at. Most I want to see you that you can get up to that point. Celibacy, eating less parasites, not fucking with their shit as much. You'll start tuning in with your back up, because you were really filthy fucking with these motherfuckers, man. You know, you're dealing with people who drank blood out of a cow and shit, man. You know, and get nutrients like that. We don't do shit like that, G. You know, we really only did all we ate was fish with the scales and shit. We already had everything lined up. You know what I mean? Niggas was already speaking Hebrew. Niggas was already had a culture. We already was in tune with our ancestors. They want to call it voodoo or whatever. Our ancestors was giving us the knowledge on how to cultivate. It ain't nobody else outside. When our ancestors been there long. There's ancestors that been long transition. Thousand years, man. 1,000-year-old ass spirits, man, that's teaching us how to have agriculture. It's cold, P. That's what we've been doing, you know? Yeah, they know who the Most High is. They do. They know the frequency that we is naturally on. We naturally bring happiness. Without us, man, they'll die. They will die. And you'll see their hand. The more you take away that attention from them, like I'm talking about, you gotta walk like King, for real. King is one whose knowledge is known. Now, if we look at today's math, you know what I'm saying, with the wisdom God, all being born, just being wise to God itself, you know. So this is how to be wise to God. This is how you become born. They'll see us like in our light, our energy, our natural energy. This celibacy where we can talk it, but that celibacy gonna do it, G. That's gonna draw wisdom. That's gonna draw your happiness back. They're gonna do whatever it takes, but they can't even come up inside. Cause then you can start having sex again. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get up higher though, like super high. So when you'll see who's more valuable for you. Women in the world can't even deal with you right now because you're so vibrant. I can't see my thing in a bitch that like a Mexican bitch. They go crazy. I'm pretty sure any other type of nationality will go crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? They got cluster B personality disorder. They know how to hide it real good. They're narcissistic. You know, they've been abused at home by by their fathers and uncles. Things been going on that we don't know about. That happens in our community too, and it happens in their shit. He said, I think this jellyfish clean the water so that we can eat the fish. They probably do, G. That's cold. The fish is good still for you to eat. You know, if you had to, and they had famine, You know, that's why they try to poison the water, G. They know our waters, you know, and our fish get smart too. They'll leave the water if they're around. They hunting the water too much and leave. It's like, you know, they did that over in Micronesia. I think there was no fish. They used to be at their fishing ground. But the Micronesians, that's right outside this triangle. Over here, let me make sure this don't mess up. I know I'm probably shaking up and stuff. Yeah, so if the Most High wants to bring and fix the children, must know the truth. That's definitely right, God. Inky and Lil Wayne, little this, little that rappers, and 440 Hertz got, yeah, Azazi winning, only one power within. You already know we're gonna have a natural powwow. It's about to go down, G. The right people, I know the right ones is watching. This is the way it's coming out like this because the ancestors would have knocked it. And that's pretty much I had to move back, pop it back. I think I'm like, what the hell is this nigga doing? But and it's showing too, you know what I'm saying? Because Most High put me out here, you know, homeless too at the same time. And anyone who tried to do me in all kind of form of fashions and shit. I got my teeth kicked out when I was 3 years old by a mother who was 13 years old, my big brother, a big abuser. You know, I still love them. They try to make me lose my love, you know what I mean? My love has kept these people alive, you know what I mean? But now it's their judgment season, I can't help them no more, you know? I continued on, you know? I was snagging tooth all the way from 4 to 7 years old. Shit. We got more of the story because I want to touch in with everyone, you know what I mean? Because we're going to touch in